Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Oh, Mr. President, do you remember that time when you said this about inflation?
By the way, talking inflation, the overwhelming consensus is going to pop up a little bit and then go back down. No one's talking about this great,
No, we didn't know what you were talking about at the time, but we do know now. It sucks, and people are looking to you. Some of it is pandemic issues. There's no doubt about that. Can't blame it all on you. But when does leadership rise? Not when things are great, but when things are struggling. And right now, you, sir, and your administration is struggling. You have less than a year to try to sort this out, or your presidency is going to be in the dumpster fire like you could not believe. And right now, it's kind of in the dumpster. Case in point, the approval ratings.
As the holidays approach, Americans are seeing higher prices on everything from gas, groceries. The president changed his message on the issue, acknowledging for the first time inflation is, quote, worrisome and, quote, one of the most pressing economic concerns of the American people. A response, perhaps, to the political reality. A brand new poll shows Biden's approval rating sinking to 41%, a new low, largely because of a negative shift among Democrats and independents, as 70% of the American people rate the economy negatively. 70%.
Tepper, say that twice. 70%. You got a big win today. Let's not forget that. Right? A little bipartisan party going on. You're going to sign the bill. Congratulations. But the other side of it is people are looking around and saying, you know what? Your Build Back Better, while it sounds like it's fantastic, and that is, I think some of it is really good. The reality is we're a ways away from that infecting us at this moment in time. What have I said over and over? We live today. You can plan for tomorrow. You can't live tomorrow or a month from now or 6 months from now. You live today. You can plan for tomorrow. You can plan for 6 months from now, but today's the day you live. And people are frustrated and they're angry and they're looking around and going, oh, good God, this is insane. Gas is kicking them right in the grundle. Of all the things that affects all of us, the economy is it. But the things that I think people realize is gas. It's probably outside of the economy, the thing we're doing every single day. Maybe you implore to your constituents out there, to the people who support you, that, hey, you know what? Maybe right now, giving people the opportunity to work from home 2, 3, 4 days a week might not be the worst thing. You could say, look, we're approaching flu season. We don't want another spike. And with gas prices this high, if we can take the pressure off people, maybe think about lowering the sales tax, which is only about 20%. It's not going to make a huge difference, but it's affecting you.
Prices could move even higher as the months get colder, from Americans warming their homes to filling their tanks.
I drive my car for a living, so yeah, at $4 a gallon, you're like, really?
I don't have enough money to pay for gas every day, so this is crazy.
The national average for unleaded now $3.41 a gallon, a 7-year high. That's up from $2.11 last year during the pandemic economic slowdown. Filling up on the West Coast right now, even worse. $3.87 in Washington, $3.96 in Nevada, and a staggering $4.64 in California.
Yeah, and they broke another record. Another record. People are frustrated. This is when leaders step up and lead. This is when leaders step up and say, what can I do? Because you're only going to do so much. But this also goes back to, if you've addressed this along the way, if you've spoken to the people along the way, if you have not left it to your lackeys and your cronies to try to spin this in certain directions, then you know what? You'd be in a better situation. Be more transparent. Say, we thought, based on the stuff that we were looking at, that things weren't going to get that bad. But they are. We thought that maybe things were going to get bad for a bit, which we talked about, and be short term. But long term, we thought we'd be in a better position. That's why we're going to have to move some things around and do what we can to ease it. But it doesn't matter because they're still playing that game.
To the degree that people are focused on inflationary pressures in the short term, that really is not the issue.
Do you think that you and the president were wrong and inflation is not a short-term pop up a little bit and then go back down issue?
No, I don't think so, Jake. I think what we have said consistently is that the pandemic and the economy are interlinked. Certainly, we saw, just as the Delta variant posed real health challenges to the economy.
Yeah, they do. And there are some issues out there. That right there is Brian Deese. He is a advisor economically to the Biden administration. Figure something else. People are worried. And if you're not going to have some plan other than we're just going to have to play this thing out, then address the people. Let them know what's going on. Let them know. But when you look and say, what are the other experts? Not the experts that are working within the administration, not the experts that are on the Democratic side of the aisle, meaning not only are they working with, some of them may be sitting as advisors, just talking about the people that are like, look, we're going to give you our expertise. We're going to give you our belief in where this is going to go. You guys take it for what it's worth. Moody's chief analyst Mark Zandi says what we're seeing is a perfect storm.
The worker shortages are conflating with the supply chain problems, just creating this massive shortage of product and as a result, higher prices, inflation.
Zandi predicts inflation will remain high for more than a year.
I think we're seeing the worst of the inflation right now, but it's not going to get better really fast.
Yeah. And that's not good. Not good. Because a year from now, you've got another election, a midterm, that could see the Democrats in a situation where they could be in a tailspin. If things stay high and people don't buy, the Democrats going to cry. Look at that rhyme. That's the reality of it. At the end of the day, they're going to be scrambling to keep their jobs. They're going to be scrambling. They're going to be running around. And then what you're going to have probably is Republicans in place. And instead of focusing on some other things, they're going to focus on crap that doesn't matter. What people want is be transparent, do the things you need to do when you need to do them, don't overstep, and let the American people do their thing. Ignoring, pushing agendas, and not listening to the people, doesn't matter what side of the aisle, that is not a win long term. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you over the weekend. Coronavirus stuff, as usual, it's out there. One of the things that's happening is, well, misinformation, disinformation, those kind of things. And kids, I think they thought a lot of people were going to run out the minute this was available, and they were going to just go, hey, kids, here it is, and they were going to just soak it up. Here's the reality of it. That's not happening, right? That's not. Now, they're going to say the things that hey, this is not a bad thing for kids.
While kids are less at risk of bad outcomes from COVID-19 compared to adults, the truth is that COVID is not harmless in children.
Nothing is harmless. Flu kills children. How many kids will die this year riding their bike and getting hit by a car? Now, the difference is if you get hit by a car, you're not spreading that car to somebody else. At the same time, we got to learn to live with a little bit of risk. And I think that is going to be something that they're going to have to take into account, because I've seen over the last couple of weeks, Portland, Washington State, Florida, several other states where teachers are saying, well, we need a day off. We need 2 weeks off. We need this. We need that. Kids are ready to get back out there. And this goes back to what we were just talking about. If we had that start-stop again with schools, that's not a win. And what have we seen? Parents vote. When this took place last year, I said, you watch what happens next year when we get our first real round of votes, not special elections here or there. You see what happens. Parents vote. And yes, for me, younger kids, I got a tough time. I have a 3-year-old. She can't get one. I don't know if I give it to her. Right now, they've all had it, so not worried about it. But I don't know if I would. I've got some questions. I'm older. I can take the risk Absolutely. 100%. Not saying I wouldn't. All that being said, as somebody who is older, I'm 50, it's not like I'm 100, I'm still pro getting the shot, but more pro freedom. But when you have a situation like this where you're seeing the coronavirus and here it is flaring up again, even places that have a lot of people that are vaccinated, high vaccine rates, this is something we're going to have to deal with for a while. This is where you come out and you're honest, and you cannot be telling people, hey, you look what's going on in Austria and several other places where they're locking down anybody who's not vaccinated. That's scary. Don't give people an idea. This is what's heading towards us. Each state's going to have to make their decision. And as we head into the holidays again, what's that going to be like? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. I know somebody's going to text me and say, did you see that the Federal Court of Appeals blocked Biden's vaccine mandate? Here's what I'll care about that. When it gets to the Supreme Court, we finally have a ruling. At this point in time, like so many of these things, I wait till it gets to the last place that it needs to get to, that gets ruled upon, before we make a decision. Same thing when they pass bills. Until he signs something, I'm not paying attention because we know what's going to happen. We do. All right, guys, I want to talk about my new friends over there. Calibrate. Calibrate is amazing. Now, I'm not a big diet guy, right? I'm not. I don't do gimmick diets and any of that stuff. You know what I know? I've seen and tried. That stuff works. So Calibrate, though, it's not a diet. It's not a quick fix. It's a year-long commitment. Gives you the tools to fight the thing that matters most, biology. So with traditional diets, why they don't work? Well, it's because you got biology. Biology's out there. Sometimes genes, you see that. So for some people, their genes work in a different way. Calibrate is different. It's comprehensive, doctor-guided metabolic reset. Promotes sustainable results through lifestyle changes. Little changes go a long way. Calibrate works because it combines doctor-prescribed, FDA-approved medication paired with lifestyle changes to improve your metabolic health. Comprehensive, fully integrated program combining classes and one-on-one video coaching. In-app tracking, so easy. Community members like you, me, and everybody else. Medical care, including video doctor visits. And it's so easy. On average, Calibrate's earliest members have lost 14% of their body weight, exceeding the 10% average seen in clinical trials. And it does it so simple. Again, small changes go absolutely a very, very, very long way. Your weight doesn't reflect your willpower. Get back in control with Calibrate right now. 50% off the one-year metabolic reset when you use promo code CHAD and join Calibrate.com. That's joincalibrate.com. Use the promo code CHAD. You're going to save $50 right there. $50 off when you use code CHAD at joincalibrate.com. At Chad Benson Show. Twitter, ChadBenson. Chad Benson Show.
Warning, no snowflake zone. Uninformed opinions are in danger of melting. The Chad Benson Show.
Coming up, we have the greatest one-liner that I have heard in a long time. It is spectacular. Talk about that in a little bit as people try to figure out what they're going to do. I paid $3.60 for gas. So last week, I started the week at $3.29. I paid $3.60 this morning. And where I live, it's usually about 10 cents or so cheaper than, because I live in the Valley of the Dirt People, than here in Phoenix. So that's not a win. But don't worry, with the infrastructure bill, we got stuff that's going to go. It's going to be great, right? It's going to be fantastic. They're going to show you. They're going to do all kinds of stuff with this infrastructure bill. It's going to change everything. They're going to sign that at some point in time, celebrate, drinking, right? Everybody's going to toast each other. What a great job we did. What a great job. Still asking the question exactly what's in it. I've seen the numbers break down. Are they amazing? I think we could have done more. in certain places and less in others.
President Biden has called this $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill a blue-collar blueprint to rebuild America. The bill will put investment into every region in the United States, $110 billion to repair the nation's aging highways, bridges, and roads, $39 billion for expanding and improving public transit, $55 billion for clean drinking water, including replacing lead pipes. There's $65 billion in this bill to improve the reliability and resiliency of the nation's power grid, and another $65 billion to expand high-speed internet across the nation.
Which I need, but we'll see. Again, how long does it take? That's the other thing. You know, it's always like, well, okay, that's great. You got all this. How long is this going to take? It's going to take years. These things are years and years, decades to do some of this stuff. Some of it a little bit easier and they'll jump on it, but this is going to take a while. This isn't an overnight thing like that. It's going to take a while to get some of this stuff up. So while they go out and they talk about, oh, this is going to be great. And yeah, I'm sure overall some of it's going to be really good. How much of it's going to be wasted to? There's where we need a lot more transparency on what's going to be wasted. Do we get a snapshot on any of that stuff? Probably not. And I would like to see, where did we overspend? Where did money end up in people's pockets, but nothing got done? Because there's lots of that. We all know that. So we'll see. We'll see. At the end of the day, though, the polling, the numbers, well, you could celebrate some wins here and there, and you better celebrate them. The reality is people are looking around and asking questions about what are you doing as a leader? You got this done. The reconciliation bill's out there, which we'll touch on that. I don't think at this point in time, we need to be spending that much money with inflation where it is. Let's see where it lands. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Tribalism. What tribe are you? Touched on it last week. Interesting stuff. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
We are the greatest nation in the history of nations. And not just because, it's because you love America. It's because of what this was. This experiment in self-governing. This experiment of not having a sole leader. Democracy. Right? This democratic republic. Not only are we a democracy as a whole, as a nation, we're also a republic in the sense that each little nation that we live in, states, they get to govern themselves. It is amazing. But we're tribal. We probably, yes, there were issues, obviously, with the Civil War and the tribalism that went on there. But it's different now. It's different. It's 350 plus million of us at this moment in time. And now, as we touched on last week, there are 8 tribes in the 2 parties. And then you've got one that's a sideline group of people, about 15% of the electorate, who are people that do vote, who make up anywhere between 10 and 15% of the votes, but really have nothing to do with either side of the party. But inside of the parties, because it's a 2-party system, you've now got really liberal, uber conservative. You've got the regular Democrat and the regular Republican. You've got the libertarian liberal and the libertarian Republican. And then you've got the uber liberal, but done really young and really not paying much attention. Is more about bitching than doing. And on the same side, you've got the Trump support group of people. It's crazy. It's hard to get stuff done. Andrew Sullivan talked a bit about this. You don't know who he is. Smart guy, right? So you've got a guy here who looks at our country, and he's an author. He's a Brit. He's an American. Politics is his jam. Talking about the tribalism that is in our country and how, you know what? It's meant, our country is meant for the reasonable, right? The logical liberal, the reasonable Republican. That's what it's meant for. It's not meant for extremes.
The American Constitution was set up for people who can reason and argue and aren't afraid of it, and then reach compromises. The whole thing is designed that way. Well, if you're in a tribe and all that matters is the victory of your tribe, and you have all the truth and your other tribe has none of it, and you have all the virtue and the other side has none of it, you can't behave that way. You can't make it work.
That is what we've been talking about for how long? People, it's about winning. That's it. It's not about right or wrong. It's not about what system or thing is better. It's not about in this issue, on this issue, what might be the best for everybody. It's about choose a lane and victory's all that matters. And even if that means the ship sinks or it never sails, as long as we get what we want, that's all that matters. That is not a win. That is not good. It's not. Vigorous debate is fine. But the thing that has separated us is we were this shining beacon. Peaceful, transition of power, all of those things. And it was somewhat fractured on the 6th, albeit for those of you on the right, was some of it overblown? Yes. Absolutely. But also, it should never have happened. 100% should never have happened. Period. Case closed.
This country came to the point where we had violence in the usual peaceful transfer of power. That is a huge warning to how unstable our system can be if we remain tribalists in a system that's supposed to be designed for reasonable citizens.
Yeah. But where's the reason anymore? Well, some of the reason's gone. And part of the problem is because we've given everybody now. See, when we talk about how fractured we were when you go back to Civil War, right? Both sides thought they had the right answer. Both sides didn't want to give up certain ways of life. One side looked over and said, your way of life is demeaning, it's inhuman, and it's vile. The other side said, you do you, let us be us. Wasn't going to happen because we're still a country. But it was politicians arguing, and not in the way that we can argue now, which is 24/7, 365, with people we'll never meet, but people that we can also find that share our views, even if they're insane, and gin each other up and get us emotional about stuff.
Hasn't it always been that way?
Oh, yes. There's a lot of what you might call rough and tumble, sharp rhetoric. And that's healthy. What's not healthy is when that isn't just retained and kept in the political area, but becomes personal, becomes something you bring to the supermarket, becomes something you bring to Thanksgiving dinner, becomes something that permeates everything. And that separation between politics and life is what we're losing, and it's a terrible thing to lose.
That's true. It's one of the things he talked about in this is the fact that that's how you identify now, right? Like everybody needs to be in a group. Right? Are you part of the LGBT community? Apparently that's all you're about. When we know that's not true. Are you part of you're a Trump supporter? That's all you're about. There is nothing else in your life. There is nothing else. If you're a Trump hater, there was nothing else. Right? And that's just it. That's how you identify. That's your tribe. People ask me, how would I identify myself? Just me. I'm a dad. Matters the most, right? Like to think I do a pretty damn good talk show. We have fun doing that. I have been a lot of different things, but I just kind of identify as me. I don't because I look over and I say, I don't identify with that group. And I don't identify as that group, and I don't identify with that group. Why do I have to identify with a group? Why can't I just be me? But that's what we've become. And it's scary. We'll talk more about this throughout the show because that's the reality of what's taking place at this moment in time. Is this tribalism and this no longer want to work with somebody else. See it in politics where politicians are saying, hey, take my name off that bill. I don't want people who do not vote for me because they can't, because they don't live in my district, to be mad at me over something that could benefit my district, but because I've been seen with you, that won't be good. That's scary. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. It's also lazy. You know, it used to be, hey, let me show you that I'm better. Let me show you that my ideas, when put into practice, are better than your ideas when put into practice. But people realized, I don't know, maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, we've always talked about, hey, the other guy's this, that, and the other, and then this is me, and let me show you me. There's always been some of that, but now it's just easier to go, screw that. Let's just talk about how bad they suck. To me, that's lazy. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. Twitter, tweet, text the program. All right, kids. Aaron Rodgers back this weekend. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. He played. They won. But, of course, now it's one of these things where you're seeing a rise in people that are getting sick when it comes to the coronavirus in the NFL. Oh, no.
In the NFL, Pittsburgh Steelers star quarterback Ben Roethlisberger benched after testing positive. And in Minnesota, with the nation's second highest infection rate, 6 Vikings players are on the COVID-19 reserve list. Green Bay fans welcomed back unvaccinated quarterback Aaron Rodgers after they were decimated in last week's game as the NFL star tested positive for COVID-19 and at the same time was battling outrage over his stance on the vaccination.
Yeah, because how dare he have some sort of stance that's not the stance that we want him to take.
After they came back and said, no, you're unvaxxed, I said, okay, I'm going to appeal this. So we went through the process, which was a multi-week process, where I asked them for time to gather information. I gathered over 500 pages of research on the efficacy of immunizations, all the latest research surrounding my case, everything from mask wearing to the efficacy of the vaccines and the duration of the antibodies, just all the latest research, right, that I was getting from my medical team.
Yeah. That's the way you would come and present. You know, that's the way you would present it. I know that Orlando Magic player, when everybody was going off on you know, what was going on in New Jersey and with Kyrie Irving and everything, Orlando Magic player came out and he was unvaxxed. He's like, look, why should I take something where in theory, now in testing and proof, will not stop me from getting it? The potential's there. Well, you could have a less chance. Okay, fine. It's also not going to stop me giving it. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess. And he walked through everything where you're like, okay, that's fair, right? You want to have a cogent argument, that's fine. But they went after him like they've gone after a bunch of other people. Even this weekend, I saw some headlines that just make me shake my head. Like the Israeli study that came out about natural immunity that had almost 1 million people in it. We're poo-pooing, and it sucks, and it's horrible, and it's not real comparatively to the vaccine, when in theory, natural immunity is amazing. And in some places across the country now, they're saying, look, we're going to allow people who've had it, and once they've had it and they test positive for the antibodies, that will be considered their vaccine. So I thought it was that's a good argument right there, right? Like let's have talks about that. But you got to remember too, watch the news at night, and in many other places that you read or see news, see what it looks like of who's sponsoring them. Always remember that. Who's sponsoring? Well, Pfizer's sponsoring you? No wonder this thing is so amazing.
I have followed every single protocol to a T. Some of the rules to me are not based in science at all. They're based purely in trying to out and shame people, like needing to wear a mask at a podium when every person in the room is vaccinated and wearing a mask makes no sense to me. If you got vaccinated to protect yourself from a virus that I don't have as an unvaccinated individual, then why are you worried about anything that I can give you?
Yeah, well, stop making sense. I've asked that question over again. The other day I walked out of here with my, I didn't have my mask on, and I just went to the bathroom. Somebody said, "You are being a rule breaker." And I said, "Everybody raise your hand if you're vaccinated." Everybody in the room raised their hand. I said, "You know what? I'm okay with breaking the rules on this one." My God. Get over it. If you're that worried about it, stay home. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. MyPillow, BOGO, buy one, get one free. Nothing better at night. Sliding on in. Cool, comfortable, amazing sheets. That's why I love my MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Limited time, buy one, get one free. The best sheets around. Best sheets you're ever going to own. Best cotton in the world. Long staple cotton. Grown in the Sahara Desert, Mediterranean Sea, Nile River, right in the middle. Ultra soft, super breathable, tons of colors and sizes, king all the way down, machine washable, 60-day money-back guarantee. Right now, limited time, Giza Dream Sheets, buy one, get one free. No supply chain issues here. Tons of deep discounts across all the MyPillow products. Go to MyPillow.com. Use the promo code Benson to save big. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson, or call 800-983-4975 to get the buy one, get one free Giza Dream Sheets and take advantage of deep discounts everywhere. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
To be free. I am not a terrorist. I am not Antifa. I am not a sex slave that wears masks.
Don't be a cutie pie.
Probably sit around and cook some soups and eat bread and desserts and just get all fat and sassy.
You're ruining my life, bud! Yeah, you haven't seen anything yet.
You're listening to The Chad Benson Show.
We're Eternals.
Another $27.5 million for Marvel's Eternals. That keeps it in the #1 box office spot for a second weekend, despite a 61% drop-off in business for the theater-only superhero film.
Clifford, no!
Still, that was plenty to hold off Clifford the Big Red Dog. The family comedy bowed with a second-place $16.3 million. Dune, No Time to Die, and Venom, Let There Be Carnage round out the top 5.
I saw a trailer for the Clifford the Big Red Dog, and I thought to myself, that's awful. Just doesn't look right. I'm just throwing it out there, not trying to be mean. So I watched a bit of the Colin Kaepernick. I watched most of it. Netflix documentary, if you guys have never seen it. It's basically Colin in black and white.
Since the day I was born, my passion was being a quarterback. Growing up with white parents, I assumed their privilege was mine. I was in for a rude awakening.
Coming up, best of luck we got. In the opening minutes of the special titled Colin in Black and White, a line of black actors playing NFL prospects morph into slaves at an auction with shackles on them.
Look at this here. Come on. What they don't want you to understand is what's being established is a power dynamic. Love your blackness. You will know who you are. We going ultra black.
Yeah, the whole thought process of the slavery thing, I just thought, so slaves didn't have a choice. These guys do. By the way, it's not just blacks. Whites also have to. It's not like they say, yeah, the black players have to come in and we have to get all the measurements, right? So they measure everything, right? How many, I mean, you take a Wonderlic test, right? They measure your waist, your thighs. They measure your hands. How big? Football for quarterbacks, that's a huge thing. How high can you jump from a standstill? What's your 40 time? How many times can you do 225, with on the bench press? How many times can you do those things? This entire movie is basically, he has been, since he was a child, everybody is after him. Theo Vaughn was on. This is the best line of the week. And it's Monday, and I'm going out. Theo Vaughn was on with Rogan last week, and he said this.
Did you see that Netflix special where Colin Kaepernick is comparing the NFL to slavery?
Bro. Throsa Parks, that's what I call that dude.
Throsa Parks. Sorry, best line. Throsa Parks. It's the best line ever. Throsa Parks. That guy? I'm telling you, LeBron, what'd you say?
And in the NFL, they got a bunch of old white men owning teams, and they got that slave mentality. And it's like, this is my team. You do what the I tell y'all to do.
Man, it's got to suck being a victim like that. Then don't play. Go to business school and don't play sports. Well, I like playing sports. I'd like to make it to the NFL. I'd like to make it to the NBA. Well, obviously, it's a problem. It's amazing. But Throsa Parks, what a line. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show. Your Twitter. It's the Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
All right. The President of the United States. Come out, right? So you're voted in, the chaos, the turmoil, all that stuff. You're still in the midst of this coronavirus insanity. You've got all of this fighting going on with to mask or not to mask, what to do. The states doing this, that, and the other. The other countries are dealing with it. You have a supply chain issue. But then you've got other issues as well. And one of them is inflation. But you say, it's no big deal. Stop working about it. It's not going anywhere.
By the way, talking inflation, the overwhelming consensus is going to pop up a little bit and then go back down. No one's talking about this great,
But they are talking about it. And they've missed. Inflation is going up. People are feeling it. They're feeling it in their pocketbooks. They're looking at gas, and gas is a leading driver right now of inflation for many people because they fill up every single week and I can't, this is ridiculous. And then you got to realize this too. We're heading into yet another round of voting. You got midterms coming up. And if you don't think it's a big deal, working in the world of radio and the stuff that I do, I will tell you this right now. I was talking to a couple salespeople the other day. We're booking out so far when it comes to advertising and radio for next year's election. People feel it now, and the story's good. The story's very good. But the numbers for Biden and the Dems?
We asked people, would you rather see the Democrat or the Republican win in your district? The Republican candidate has a 51-41 edge among registered voters. We've been asking this question for 40 years, and we have never seen Republicans with this wide a margin in that so-called generic ballot question.
Yeah, that's not good. There are things that you can do and some things that he isn't going to be able to do. Not all of it is his fault. But when you want to be the man, when you want to be the leader, you're going to focus on the things that you do that are doing okay. And you're going to, hopefully push aside the other stuff. It's not the way it works. Now, your side may defend you in some cases. But there's only so far that it can go. You see, with Trump, it was easy to have the battle with Trump because so much of what Trump stuff was about his tweeting and some of the nonsense that went on that was very much a situation where you were dealing more with reality show TV than you were with a lot of stuff that was real. Right? I mean, that's kind of it. And we were very divided when it came to the coronavirus, and we still are. But the economy was good, stupid. And when people feel the economy is good, well, guess what happens? A lot of that other stuff can just be noise. But when the economy sucks and people are starting to feel that way, well, then it's not going to be a victory for you at night. They're changing their message because they realize now, first of all, after seeing what took place a couple weeks ago in Virginia, as well as several other parts of the country, even with moderate Democrats winning over their more progressive brethren, the reality is they're listening and they're finding out people are paying more attention to this than you realize.
As the holidays approach, Americans are seeing higher prices on everything from gas, groceries. The president changed his message on the issue, acknowledging for the first time inflation is, quote, worrisome and, quote, one of the most pressing economic concerns of the American people. A response, perhaps, to the political reality. A brand new poll shows Biden's approval rating sinking to 41%, a new low, largely because of a negative shift among Democrats and independents, as 70% of the American people rate the economy negatively. 70%.
That 70%. You're not winning at 70% unless you make sure that 70% of people don't show up at the polls. And why it matters? Let's think about how petty politics has become. Let's think about how petty these men and women are now. How they're more interested in being celebrities and playing to the crowd on Twitter and Fox and MSNBC than they're actually about doing their job. What happens if the Senate flips, as do the House? Can we see insane investigations going on? Absolutely. Could we see them still try to litigate what took place in the last election? 100%. So if you're the Democrats and you're seeing this and you're thinking to yourself, but if you're the president and you're seeing this, you're thinking, sweet mamma jamma, this is nuts. But at this point in time, if you're a leader, you do what? You take control and do what you can. But most importantly, you be transparent and show people you're there and you're doing everything you can to get involved and to be involved. And I don't feel he has been. And that's a mistake. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Speaking of the coronavirus,
some medical experts say they believe it is safe for people to get together with family members who are vaccinated, adding that that's not what we saw during Halloween, where different groups of people were coming together, whether they were vaccinated or not.
Yeah, well, you're going to be fine. People are not going to stop doing, because people have moved on. And that's where, again, if you're the president, you're looking, all right, people have moved on. They're not listening to the things that we've said in the past. So what's to make me to think that they're going to listen here in the future? They're probably not. Masked, unmasked, vaccinated, unvaccinated. The battle is still going to be out there. Now you try to get the people vaccinated you think you need to, in particular, the people that are truly at high risk. And at the same time, do what you can to keep the economy flowing, because the last thing you need at this point in time is to see schools shut down and to see, once again, states go into emergency lockdown, which you never know what might take place. I'm looking at California. I'm looking at Minnesota. I'm looking at several other states that are absolutely 100% behind the vaccination policies and let's go and let's do it. And all of a sudden, cases are rising.
Nearly half the country seeing new COVID cases soaring. 21 states reporting a surge in infections and rising hospitalizations in 17 states and territories. States like Colorado, California, New Mexico, and West Virginia superseding the FDA and allowing booster shots for all adults. Some rural communities with low vaccination rates and limited resources being hit especially hard.
Yeah. Again, get out in front of it. Get out in front of it. And he hasn't been at all. At this point in time, he has been floundering around and not doing the things. I just don't feel like he is on it. I don't feel like I feel like he's just stuck in a world of I'm not quite sure which way to go, so I'm not making any kind of move. You can't do that. Now you've got the coronavirus vaccines for children, but much like I said months ago, Kids are different than parents. Older kids are different than younger kids. And when it comes to older kids, I think we kind of let them get to the point where they can kind of make a decision somewhat for themselves. But when it comes to the younger kids, you're going to find out that while parents go, you know what, I make a decision, little Johnny over here is 16. He feels that it's okay for him to make that decision. But you know what? Little Sally over here, she's 6, and I'm not quite sure I'm up for that.
Half of the parents in the new ABC News Washington Post poll are skeptical about the safety and effectiveness of coronavirus vaccines for children. 41% of parents in the poll are not at all confident that the vaccines are safe for children 5 to 17, compared to 21% who are very confident. A big difference compared to a previous poll in September asking about vaccines in general, not just for kids. 71% of adults call the vaccine safe, and 72% saw them as effective.
Yeah, I think they're effective. I think they're pretty safe. You give out as many dosages as you can to people, and you know what? You can expect that there's going to be some issues here or there. Everybody, if you understand that if we gave everybody aspirin today at the rate they're giving it, or antibiotic, people are going to have issues. Do I think they're safe? Yeah. Do I think they're pretty effective? I think they're pretty good. Are they what we thought they were going to be? Probably not. But all that being said, I'm all about you talking to your doctor and going to get a shot if that's what your doctor thinks you should do. I don't think you're going to turn into some sort of, have a nanobite inside of you that turns into millions of them that does all this crap. I don't think that's going to happen. What I do think is it'll offer you a good amount of protection from getting it, and even a better protection from you getting very sick. So there you go. But when it comes to the kids, man, I keep telling everybody, when it comes to the kids, we have a different feel when it comes to the kids. Like maybe because we know it doesn't really harm them the same way. Maybe because we know even though they can get it, that they're going to be fine. Maybe we'll see if they can let natural immunity play itself out. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Don't be silly and get caught without your car shield. You don't want that. I, myself, being of sound mind, have car shield. Don't be in a lose-lose. Bing! Check engine light goes on. You're struggling because how expensive are used cars right now? Super expensive. How expensive are new cars? Super duper expensive. How do you make a decision on what to do? Well, if you have car shield, the decision's easy. I got car shield. I just place a quick phone call. Boom, and away it goes. Car Shield's administrators, they make everything super easy. They can handle paperwork, expensive for payments. You don't have to. No hassles, no headaches. You pay a small deductible. Let them handle the rest. You, for your part, tons of plans, great pricing options, coast-to-coast roadside assistance, rental coverage, trip reimbursement, all at no additional charge. And yes, you can even find the mechanic of your choice to do the work, which is awesome. So that way you trust somebody. Million drivers been helped by Car Shield. It's America's #1 auto protection company. Get yours. Do what I do. I got myself covered by Car Shield because I'm no fool. It's a win-win for you. It'll be a win-win for you. Get Car Shield today. Find out why Car Shield cars go further. Visit carshield.com/Benson. Save yourself 10%. Carshield.com/Benson. Carshield.com/Benson. A deductible may apply. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show, where we reach across the aisle and occasionally poke someone in the eye.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Now it's time to find out what's trending. What's trending? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean something, right? Like it's trending on the old internet. What's trending? Let's find out what's trending on the old interwebs, baby. Start over in the magical world of Google. Today, biggest trender, Halo Infinity. Multiplayer surprise launching today or not? Question mark. People are asking. Adele yesterday. She did an interview with Oprah. apparently that interview and all the stuff, the songs and everything, made net not only her, but Oprah and James Corden. Somewhere in the neighborhood of about $100 million. Cam Newton back. They defeated the Cardinals yesterday. Carolina. First 2 plays, ran 1 for a touchdown, threw 1 for a touchdown. Buccaneers became the Yuccaneers yesterday as the Washington football team won. Oh, wait. Yep. Elon Musk and Bernie Sanders are fighting because Bernie wants the 1% to pay for everything. And Elon Musk tweeted, I keep forgetting you're still alive. Southwest flight attendant was hospitalized. Arguably, this is the worst attack we've seen on a flight attendant. Head on over to Twitter. Ghislaine Maxwell is trending. Apparently, she gave an interview finally and saying, how horrible she's being treated. People are worrying that the jury pool's being tainted and all of this stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen when and if she ever makes the trial. And I say that, when and if. When and if. You know it and I know. Beto O'Rourke is trending. He's announcing he's running for governor of Texas. I want McConaughey to run. I do. I want Matthew McConaughey to run. I think it'd be interesting to see how he does. Because I think he cares, and I don't think it's a stunt. But Beto, yeah. I don't think Beto... Man, he likes that limelight, but I don't know if that's going to go well for him. And Kamala is trending because CNN has ran a report that basically say exasperation and dysfunction. People inside the White House, even people on her own staff, are frustrated beyond all belief when it comes to her and the way things are going. They're not happy. She is struggling. She doesn't quite get, they say, she doesn't really understand some of the complexity of the White House. She's frustrated with them. So this will be interesting. I don't think they are getting along very well. And quite frankly, much like with even Pete Buttigieg, where I think a lot of people thought they were expecting more, but in bite-sized chunks, people can be okay, but in full, big, giant pieces where you turn them loose, right? It's like a relief pitcher. Yeah, he's good for an inning, but you're not starting him, and there's a reason for that, because by the 3rd inning, once they get around again, it isn't all that. And I think they're starting to feel that way about both of them. Now, there's a long way to go. But let's be real. I mean, every time we turn around, she has flubbed her lines again. And it's already, you're already dealing with it with Biden. How many times you told that Satchel Paige or Amtrak story? Like 800 times. So I think people are getting frustrated with each other. And I think the other thing is, too, I think she thought she was going to have more of a role in this. And I think she would, had she not flubbed her lines, and continues to do so. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. Xi and Biden are going to do a Zoom call, and we'll see what that looks like. There is some fence mending, potentially. How strong is Biden going to be with China as they start to flex their muscles when it comes to Taiwan and threatening some other countries if they get involved? It's going to be interesting. They'll probably tell the Amtrak and Satchel Paige story again. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
It's the economy, stupid, and somebody will call you stupid if you don't, in some way, shape, or form, understand that. rightly so. It's the economy. Economy's out there. Chris Christie, who is apparently divorced himself from Donald Trump and vice versa, has been on all the shows because he's laying the groundwork for a 2024 run. There's no doubt about that, just as we talked about Beto O'Rourke running for governor in Texas. We know where Chris Christie's going. And let's be real, Trump talked about that. They were close, very close. In fact, at one time, Trump apparently said to him, look, I'm going to run. We're going to get out there. We'll make some noise. And, then I'm going to throw my support behind you. But the run took place. And there was never a doubt once that first or second big debate took place. This is his to lose. Right? This is his to lose. And right now, I mean, poll after poll says the same thing. If you held an election today, who's winning? Trump is in the driver's seat. We're a long way away from that. Let's be real. But we're not long way away from next year. And you got the infrastructure deal done. That's fine. But you ignored a lot of the things that people were worried about. And this pandemic pointed a lot of things out. Supply chain being one. But really, it's always still been about the economy. Yes, the pandemic absolutely woke people up to certain things, absolutely put a giant grundle shot to all of us for the way that schools were handled, the economy was handled, how fragile your life could be, not just physically, but mentally as well as financially. But people are past that at this point in time, and they're living, and they're getting out there, and they're not liking what they see.
Let me give you a couple examples of what normal people really care about. They go to the gas station, and as much as the Biden administration is against fossil fuels, until further notice, we're going to be using them. And the reason they don't up the strategic reserves is because they don't want to expose themselves on the far left green flank. So they go to the gas station, and the prices are way too high. I will tell you something my wife just told me 3 days ago. She walked in from the supermarket, and she picked up a big pack of toilet paper, and she said to me, do you know how much this cost me today? $29.
$29. Now that's, again, a Costco-like thing or whatever it is. It's still $29. We're feeling it everywhere. Sentiment is down. Polls are showing Biden struggling.
Just 41% of Americans approve of the job President Biden is doing. 53% disapprove. That's according to a new ABC News Washington Post poll. But when it comes to his signature policy initiatives, a majority of Americans say they like what they see. 63% of Americans say they support the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill the president will sign today at the White House. 58% say they support the nearly $2 trillion social spending bill that's still being negotiated among congressional Democrats and the White House.
Until you have to pay for it. Right? So, yeah, Chad, that's good. Yeah, but they support those. You can superimpose anybody on those. And that's something they don't support him. They support those. When you look at the other side of it and you get a sense of the economy, because as we all know, it's the economy, stupid.
As the holidays approach, Americans are seeing higher prices on everything from gas, groceries. The president changed his message on the issue, acknowledging for the first time inflation is, quote, worrisome and, quote, one of the most pressing economic concerns of the American people. A response, perhaps, to the political reality. A brand new poll shows Biden's approval rating sinking to 41%, a new low, largely because of a negative shift among Democrats and independents, as 70% of the American people rate the economy negatively. 70%.
You're not going to win that. You're not winning that. You can be great. You can have all these amazing, incredible things that you're doing out there. But if the economy sucks stupid, you lose. Get out in front of it. Talk about it. Engage. Turn it into what it is that you're focusing on at this moment in time. Talk about how you are in it with everybody. the things that you're going to do to try to ease some of this, knowing full well, and explain it to the people. There's only so much I can do. There's only so much. But I'm here, and I'm going to do everything in my power that I can. But whether or not that's enough, we'll see. But at this moment in time, you better figure it out sooner rather than later. Because I'm having trouble getting stuff. You're having trouble getting stuff. I paid $329 last week. It's $360 is what I paid yesterday on my way to church. $329, $360. A 30-cent jump in a week at a place that's cheaper than where I work, because where I work in and around here in Phoenix, it's $380. Can you do some stuff that can loosen some of this? Yes. But you better start figuring out sooner rather than later. And most importantly, you better start engaging. Because if you don't engage, if you don't get involved, if you're not going to talk about it, and you're not going to be out in front about it, you're going to see people pull away more and more. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. Coronavirus still out there, hanging out, not going anywhere anytime soon.
The approved lower-dose Pfizer COVID shot is the best protection for kids, says Jill Biden.
That has already saved millions of lives.
The First Lady with U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy saying while kids are less at risk of bad outcomes,
the truth is that COVID is not harmless in children.
Urging parents to get info
from credible sources like your doctors, your children's hospitals, your local public health departments, and the CDC.
So that's where you go to get all of those things. What did we talk about earlier, or continue to talk about? The polling data when it comes to kids. How real is it? How confident do you feel?
The ABC News Washington Post poll found that just 46% of parents with children under 18 at home are confident that the vaccines are safe for children 5 to 17 years old, and 47% are confident that the vaccines are effective at preventing serious illness and death for that age group. 52% are not so or not at all confident in their safety or effectiveness.
That's not great. Remember last week? Matthew McConaughey, and everybody came after him.
He just said we can vaccinate kids. Do we need to trust? Do I want to trust in the science? Do I think that there's any kind of scam or conspiracy theory? Hell no, I don't. Right now, I'm not vaccinated mine, I'll tell you that. I'm not vaccinating mine. I want to get some more. I've been vaccinated. My wife has been vaccinated. We have a high-risk person in our household, my mother, who's 90, and she's immune compromised. I couldn't mandate having to vaccinate the younger kids. I still want to find out. I still want to find out more information.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of people. Find out more. Why? Well, I'm older. I make decisions in certain ways for myself, but I'm also older. I'm older. You're still developing as a human being, both physically and mentally. I'm older. I make the decisions. I'd like to find out a little bit more. I don't think that's wrong. You know, a lot of people who when I started talking about this, especially around here, were like, no, people are going to run out to get it. People are going to run out to get it. I said, you're going to find out that that's not going to be the case, especially with 5 to 11-year-olds. You're going to find out a lot of people out there are a little bit more hesitant, and they're a lot like McConaughey. I don't think there's a conspiracy theory. I don't think there's some evil that goes on inside of this. I don't think there's a bunch of chaos and craziness that's happening. That's some sort of, design where they're putting inside of you things like nanotechnology and things of that nature. No, I don't think any of that. But in saying that, I would like to see in something that doesn't harm kids the way that it has gone after adults. I don't know if there needs to be the rush the same way. Really what we're doing is we're getting kids vaccinated because it's going to help potentially them spreading it to other people. If you have somebody compromised immune system in your house, okay, that's something to think about. Right? Like my son cannot see his aunt because she, while vaccinated, the vaccine only lasts a very short time in her because she's had a double lung transplant. And the medicine she takes to continue to keep her lungs healthy so her body doesn't reject it also take on the vaccine. So, okay, there you go. There's something there where you look at something like that. Not everybody's the same. But I don't know if I'd give my 3-year-old it if it was available. I'm probably going to say no. Not at this point in time. Plus, they've had it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from all of you. Rarely do I do this. Rarely do I do something like this. But we're going to talk about this. I will throw it out there. The Capitol riots. He did it, guys. He did it.
Any thoughts, Mr. Bannon?
Steve Bannon entered the FBI's Washington field office to be taken into custody on federal contempt charges that could land him in prison. Bannon defied a subpoena from the committee investigating the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol and is due to be arraigned on 2 counts of criminal contempt. Federal prosecutors said Bannon received the subpoena for testimony and documents September 24th and failed to communicate with the committee until October 7th when his lawyer sent a letter indicating his noncompliance. Bannon has said he was following former President Trump's claim of executive privilege.
There you go. What's going to happen to him? Nothing. Is this what the average person's talking about? No, but it goes back to what Chris Christie said. It's not that you don't investigate. It's not that you don't ask certain questions. But know this, the average person's not thinking about what took place on January 6th at this moment in time. At this moment in time, they're thinking about how expensive gas was. Can I get a turkey? What's Christmas going to be like for my business, for the kids, et cetera, et cetera. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program, Raycon, best earbuds around, just in time for the holidays. Love my Raycons. I played a ton of golf this weekend. Like so much golf. It was crazy. My Raycons on all weekend. Didn't have to worry about them running out. It's nuts. It is truly, truly incredible. You will love your Raycons just in time for the holiday season. I'm so excited. So you got the everyday Raycons that my man, Ray J's put together. So what you get is the best quality, incredible fit, 3 new sound profiles, pure mode, balance mode, bass mode, 8 hours of playtime, 32 hours of battery life, built-in mic, all of it so affordable. It is incredible. Right now, go to buyraycon.com/Chad. You can unlock deals that save you up to 20% off your order. And they already start under $70. Buyraycon.com/Chad. Perfect holiday gift. Buyraycon.com/Chad. Save big up to 20% off your order now. Buyraycon.com/Chad. Chad Benson Show.
I can't take it anymore!
Well, get over it. It's time to forge a new path with your very own political cartographer, Chad.
Friday. The news came down a little late, but the excitement was there.
Hundreds of Britney Spears fans celebrating outside the courthouse in downtown Los Angeles after word that Judge Brenda Penny ended the conservatorship that has controlled the singer's life for 13 years.
It almost doesn't feel real. We can finally say that Britney is free.
Spears was not in court, but she was watching, tweeting the video of the courthouse party, writing that this is the best day ever, that she loves her fans so much it's crazy, and that she may cry the rest of the day.
I would have went down there with a Nelson Mandela shirt and see if anybody had any idea. Who's that? Is he a singer? Nothing. Just so excited. I didn't think Britney was ever going to be free from her horrible life.
As of today, effective immediately,
the conservatorship has been terminated as to both the person and the estate.
So she's got all the money. She's got everything. She's back in business.
We believe it was the right result. Britney specifically requested that there be no mental evaluation, and the judge did not require it.
There you go. That's good. No mental evaluation. She's good to go. And away she heads. But I find that, first of all, two things. For number one, people, we're going to be going through this as we get older, right? As kids get older, mom and dad gets older. All of these things that are going on nowadays that you're looking at and you're seeing what's going on. You may be in a position where you're going to have to go and take over your mom or dad's world. You may be in a position where something happens to your child or something happens to you, and you want to be in that position where there might be some conservatorship for whatever reason. And the other side is also to look and go, wow, you people, there's nothing? You guys don't, like, none of you probably have no idea who Nelson Mandela was. But there you are. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Talking earlier, somebody tweeted at me, says, Chad, how can you not think that January 6th is important? What took place on January 6th is absolutely something we should look at. But in a day and age where the economy's stupid, people are focusing on singular things, in particular their day-to-day survival, going and continuing to push through on certain things in such a way where that's all it seems to be that some people are focusing on, that I think a lot of people have trouble with. They do. Why wouldn't you? You focus on it. And I'm here to tell you, too, what goes around comes around. At some point in time in the near future, at the rate things are going, the Republicans are going to be running the Senate and the House. And you don't think there's going to be investigation after investigation after investigation on Hunter Biden, on the last election, on many other things, right? Of course there is. There's going to be plenty of that. And that's what we're getting, that's tit-for-tat stupidity that I think is going to frustrate, because the average person was like, hey, you were there for a reason. And the reason is simply this: do a job. Not saying that some things aren't important, but when you make it out to be the thing that seems to be super important, I think a lot of people get frustrated when they're looking around going, day-to-day life feels that you can help somewhat on. Feels like you're skipping it to focus more on politics. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. Twitter, it's the Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
The economy, stupid. The economy. Focus on the economy and you win the economy. You do well. You either help where you can or you stay out of the way. When that happens, usually things go okay. As they go okay, you have nothing to worry about when it comes to things like poll ratings. Right? You don't want that. You don't want to look at your poll ratings and see 70% rate the economy negatively. Not Republicans, not independents, but across the board, 70% of the country says, yeah, you know what? You're doing a piss poor job at this. That's not going to help you. It's not. Inflation up.
Whether you're
filling your tank, stocking up at the grocery store.
And are you guys paying the other separate?
Or dining out. The cost for just about everything is trending higher. The Consumer Price Index spiking 6.2% for October, the largest inflation surge in more than 3 decades.
The gas prices are bananas.
I don't eat much steak anymore either.
Everything's more expensive. Everything across the board.
Yeah. Everything is more expensive. People feel that. And they feel it every single day. They're filling up their cars. It's going up more. They're making choices about what am I going to do about driving, getting to and from work, let alone paying for stuff that you know is going to go up in price, even if there's an abundance of it, because it's costing more to get to the place.
Prices could move even higher as the months get colder. From Americans warming their homes to filling their tanks.
I drive my car for a living, so yeah, at $4 a gallon, you're like, really?
I don't have enough money to pay for gas every day, so this is crazy.
The national average for unleaded now $3.41 a gallon, a 7-year high. That's up from $2.11 last year during the pandemic economic slowdown. Filling up on the West Coast right now, even worse. $3.87 in Washington, $3.96 in Nevada, and a staggering $4.64 in California.
You don't think people feel that? Of course they do. Of course they do. And it's those little things that are frustrating people. It's those little things. But we heard that this wasn't going to be here. We heard that this wasn't going to.
By the way, talk of inflation. The overwhelming consensus is going to pop up a little bit and then go back down. No one's talking about this great,
But people are talking about it. You can spin it how you want.
To the degree that people are focused on inflationary pressures in the short term, that really is not the issue.
Do you think that you and the president were wrong and inflation is not a short-term pop up a little bit and then go back down issue?
No, I don't think so, Jake. I think what we have said consistently is that the pandemic and the economy are interlinked. Certainly, we saw, just as the Delta variant posed real health challenges to the economy.
It's Mr. Deese there. He works with the Biden administration economic advisor. Yesterday, Phil's team, the Washington football team, beat the world champ Bucks and Tom Brady. Tom Brady threw 2 interceptions. They didn't look great. There were easy excuses out there, right? But Bruce Arians, the coach, he gets up there. What does he say? We don't look good. My bad. We don't look good. Look like crap. It starts with preparation. It starts with what's going on during the week. It starts with all of those things. We didn't look good. Tom Brady gave a quick 1 minute and I think it was like 6 seconds or 40-second quick little interview, and then he bounced, right? And he said this.
No, they all count. I mean, they all count the same, so, we got to get better.
Got to get better. Got to get better.
That's very disappointing. I mean, it's very alarming to show up with the lack of execution and energy that it takes to win in this league on Sunday. We got a lot of soul searching to do.
Do you wish that politicians were that way? Guys, got a lot of soul searching to do. We are losing this. We're not doing the things we need to do. We are struggling. We're not putting focus where we need to put focus. Because the difference is in politics compared to sports and your business and everybody else, the accountability is very little. The accountability comes once every 2 years, 4 years, or 6 years. And even at that point, you're usually in a position where you're pretty much going to win even if things go south. People want accountability. Bruce Arians said he didn't get the team prepared. Tom Brady says we got to do better. We didn't play well. Maybe we underestimated them. You come out, and if you're the president, you do what? You address it. Oh, you celebrate today. You got the infrastructure deal. Zero problems with that. Celebrate that. There's a lot of stuff that's in it that I think is good. Could have done better in some other areas, but you know what? Everybody can't get everything they want. And I don't think it's a bad deal. I think we needed to do this. This would be even a better deal had we not been spending all this money for coronavirus and some of this insanity that went on over the last 18 months. But the reality is, but then you get out there and you address, hey, we're excited about this. This is good. We think this is going to be good for everybody. The reality is we need to figure out what we can do today to do the best we can to help the people that are out there struggling. We need to figure out what we can do today to lighten the load in some of this stuff, to take some of this pressure off. And it won't be perfect, but you wanted to be the man, so you're the man. Now the question is, how do you handle it? Because if handling it is not really addressing it the way you should be, that's not good. And the holidays are here. There's going to be a ton of people traveling. And it doesn't look like in the short term or long term that this thing's going away anytime soon.
Moody's chief analyst Mark Zandi says what we're seeing is a perfect storm.
The worker shortages are conflating with the supply chain problems, just creating this massive shortage of product and as a result, higher prices, inflation.
Zandi predicts inflation will remain high for more than a year.
I think we're seeing the worst of the inflation right now, but it's not going to get better really fast.
Yeah. Again, is it fair to blame everything on him? No, it is not. Is the reality that everything, good and bad, lands usually at the party that's in power? Yes. That's why you address it and you get after it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. I do. Shots are available for kids. That's great if you want to do that. But for a lot of other people, they're not quite sure exactly what they want to do. And polls are showing us, well, hold on a second.
Half of the parents in the new ABC News Washington Post poll are skeptical about the safety and effectiveness of coronavirus vaccines for children. 41% of parents in the poll are not at all confident that the vaccines are safe for children 5 to 17, compared to 21% who are very confident. A big difference compared to a previous poll in September asking about vaccines in general, not just for kids. 71% of adults call the vaccine safe and 72% saw them as effective.
One of the things I said is we're going to treat kids differently because they're not fully grown. I mean, we're talking about like not letting them play football because, well, they're not fully developed. And, you know, we've had people push back on, you know, not so much, you know what, vaccines are good, but do we have to give everything at once or twice? You know, can we spread it over time? You're getting a lot of that, but you're also getting a situation where even those vaccines have been around for a very long time and they're trusted. This is new. You and I can make decisions for ourselves. So we take a step back and maybe let's see. Let's give it some time. And you're seeing flares up around the globe. Austria, Germany. Austria is thinking about they're thinking about lockdown for the unvaxxed. How's that going to go? Well, they're saying as of Monday, to deal with the surge, if you're not vaxxed, you're inside. Can't leave. What? Germany's thinking about calling in the troops. People are frustrated, and they're saying to themselves, we're seeing rises here in places that are heavily vaccinated. If this thing doesn't seem to be the thing that's working to slow this thing down, then why are we sitting here in a situation where you could lose your job and everything's going south and we're fighting and still wearing damn masks when it doesn't seem to be going in the position and in the area that people want? And that's going to be asked more and more. And while everybody who wanted to went out and got this thing early, and some people have gotten the third shot, you have a lot of people out there that are saying, you know what, I'm going to hold off on that third shot. I'm going to hold off on that third shot, and I'm not quite sure I'm going to give it to my kid. And yet another battle shall begin. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet and text the program. You know, one of the things is we've talked about throughout this pandemic is getting in shape and getting fit. And, you know, some people out there, they're just naturally, they got the genes and the biology that works perfect For a lot of us, though, it's a bit of a struggle. It is. That's why I decided, you know what? I'm done with fad diets. I've tried a lot of different stuff. 50 things, aren't really the way they used to be, when you get a little older. That's why I jumped when I had the opportunity to work with Calibrate. So Calibrate's amazing. Traditional diets, we know, they don't really work, right? And part of it is because your biology. It's not just about, my willpower. It's your biology. Calibrate, completely different. Comprehensive doctor-guided metabolic reset that promotes sustainable results through lifestyle change. It is a year. It's a 1-year program. On average, Calibrate's earliest members, 14% of their body weight they've lost. They make small changes, not overnight, boom. They make small changes, which are going to help improve your metabolic health, as well as FDA-approved medication prescribed by a doctor. You get one-on-one video coaching, in-app tracking, community of members like you, as well as me, and medical care, including a video doctor visit. It's awesome, and it's easy, and that's what people want. Awesome and easy doesn't get better than Calibrate. Your weight doesn't reflect your willpower. Get back in control with Calibrate. $50 off, 1-year metabolic reset when you use promo code Chad at joincalibrate.com. 1 year, $50 off. That's $50 off when you use code Chad at joincalibrate.com. Joincalibrate.com. Use that promo code Chad. Chad Benson Show.
If you're part of the politically exhausted majority, don't fear. Your time to be validated and rejuvenated is here. Wake up. It's the Chad Benson Show.
So you do get the shot, and then you freak out. Like, oh, my God, I got the shot. And I don't want to get the shot, but I got the shot. This is a doctor who's going to help you get that shot out of you.
Detox, detox, detox. So I love detox baths. They take care of radiation poisoning. They take care of pesticides. They take care of heavy metals, all kinds of things, even some parasites. So if you got a bathtub, someone's got a bathtub, that's the easiest, fastest way. Good old baking soda.
So good old baking soda is going to help you get all that evil out of you.
So 1 or 2 cups of baking soda, 1 or 2 cups of Epsom salts in there. That already is a wonderful radiation detox. It gets fungus, yeast out of your body as well.
So baking soda, right? Epsom salt, the yeast comes out of your body. Get rid of that radiation, because apparently there's radiation in there, which I was unaware of.
You add a little bit of bentonite clay. Aztec Secret is a wonderful brand, 1/2 to 1 cup. Now you've also got a major pull of poison coming out.
So clay, bentonite clay is used for a lot of different things. Major pull of poison, and I listen to this lady. I'm like, you're the lady that tells everybody, if you get bit by a snake, just cut it and start sucking. It doesn't work that way. But she's not quite in the position of superstardom yet. It is going to happen, because this one, kids, this one sets her apart from everybody. So we've heard about the baking soda, the Epsom salt, the bentonite clay. All of those things are great, but what would be really good?
You add in 1 cup of borax, that laundry detergent. That'll take nanotechnology out of you. So now I've seen Venom, and I think that Eddie has tried everything to get the nanotechnology out of him. But it has not worked. It has not worked. And just in case you guys need to know, borax is not good.
Heavy-duty work clothes don't scare me a bit. Not with 20 Mule Team Borax handy. Thank you, darling. You're a big help. Used in the wash water with your favorite soap or detergent, 20 Mule Team Borax cuts grease, loosens ground-in dirt. Any color or fabric that's safe in plain water is equally safe in borax water. So let's have a borax sweet wash in every household.
All right, there you go. So there you go. Now, it's safe for all of the colors, right? It's safe for all of the colors, which is not really what she was talking about with the borax, but it's gonna bring out all the stuff. All the stuff's gonna come out of you.
You scrub down, scrub down, scrub down. 20 minutes, as hot as you tolerate it, right? I'm just getting a new website started, carriemade.com, M-A-D-E-J. I'll put all the detoxes. Everything I do is for free.
Everything she does is for free because no one will pay. By the way, when you get a shot of this, it lasts about a day or two inside of your body. And then what it does is it basically learns how to replicate, and then it's gone. So if you got it like right into it. You can't be hemming and hawing. You got to go right into it. And remember, if you're using the borax, 20 minutes in the hot water. What is wrong with people? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Do love hearing from all of you. Oh, man. Tribalism is not helping our nation. We were designed to have vigorous debates. We were designed to argue. We were not designed to be so tribal as to get nothing done and only care about our side winning. We shall discuss some of that. Barbie privilege and the best one-liner of the week. And it's only Monday. But I think this one wins it all. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. It's the Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
It's tribal. The world we live in is more tribal than it's ever been. And it just feels like we hate each other. And in many cases, for whatever reason, and I think part of it is because we identify now solely as red, blue, whatever it is that you want to, game you want to play, right? I'm a MAGA guy, or I'm this, I'm that. And that's how we see ourselves. You're no longer a father. You're no longer a husband. You're no longer a wife. You're no longer a daughter, a son, whatever. You're now only this. That's it. That's all you are. If you're black, you're only black. You're not an American. You're only black. If you're gay, you're only LGBT. If you supported Trump, you're only MAGA. We have picked lanes and we're staying in it, and it's not what we were set up for in this great experiment that has become the greatest nation in the history of the world. Not because, it's America. It's because of how we chose to do it. We didn't want kings or queens. We didn't want indefinite rulers. We wanted the people to have the opportunity to pick and choose the people that would represent them.
The American Constitution was set up for people who can reason and argue and aren't afraid of it, and then reach compromises. The whole thing is designed that way. Well, if you're in a tribe and all that matters is the victory of your tribe, and you have all the truth and your other tribe has none of it, and you have all the virtue and the other side has none of it, you can't behave that way. You can't make it work.
No. Last week when they passed the infrastructure bill, right, and 13 Republicans, Trump came out and he said, how dare they give Biden a win? I thought this was about the American people. I thought that's what it was. It used to be, look, we ran a tough race. We ran a strong race. We got the win, but I need to learn how to govern, and I need to make sure I govern for everybody, not just the people that voted me in. We have passed that point now where it is only about the win. Bill Maher talked a bit about this and where we're headed.
But this is what I worry about. Until you walk back this level of hate that we have for each other, a startling number of people in this country want to secede, whatever that would mean. How would we secede in California, which has 4 million Trump voters? What do we do about this hate?
And that's something to have a serious discussion about. That's what we do. Part of the exhausted majority. I don't look at my neighbors as red or blue. And trust me, I got red and I got some blue around me. Some of my best friends are blue. Actually, they're just my friends. That's all they are. I don't really care what their politics is. It's human beings, right? All trying to get the same thing. We all got our kids and our family and our lives. I can't live my life based in strictly politics. And I've also come from a world where, you know what? One of my favorite things, would you rather be right or would you rather be rich? Too many people out there want to be right, meaning they want their side to win at all costs. They don't care if everything goes to hell in a handbasket. They don't care if the ship never sails or if the ship sinks, as long as they get to be the captain of the ship. And that's sad. Absolutely sad.
Hasn't it always been that way?
Oh, yes. There's a lot of what you might call rough and tumble, sharp rhetoric. And that's healthy. What's not healthy is when that isn't just retained and kept in the political area, but becomes personal, becomes something you bring to the supermarket, becomes something you bring to Thanksgiving dinner, becomes something that permeates everything. And that separation between politics and life is what we're losing, and it's a terrible thing to lose.
Yeah, it is. I love going and hitting golf balls, right? Playing games. You guys hear me talk about that. I love soccer. I do my stuff. I love movies because I'm able to escape. When I go places and people like, you're so-and-so, and, I listen to your show locally or nationally, and they want to talk about, like, do you think about this or do you think about that? And what do you think of this? I see it too. I was out this past week at the Charles Schwab, which is so you got the PGA Tour and then the over 50 circuit is the Champions Tour. And I was out there, and Phil Mickelson, everybody out there. But it's so funny because I'm sure those guys get asked 1,000 times when they're out playing around or whenever, hey, can you show me how to do this? Or what do I need to do? It's like a doctor, right? Hey, my back hurts, my neck. That's all we are. And that's the difference is now that's all that we are. It seems. Is we're just that. You're your little group, your little tribe, and you fight amongst yourselves. And it's about beating the other side. And that is not a win at all whatsoever. It isn't. I have everything. I have a daughter. I have a son. Jack played hockey this weekend. He was super excited. Right? Talk about that. That's why one of the reasons I love when I go and I have my lizards. Because my lizards don't ask me. You think the election was stolen? They just look at me and say, do you have any baby chicks? Because I'm feeling like I can have some chicken. You got any turkey for me? How about some frozen rats? Maybe a rabbit. Chad, I know. But get relax. Everybody wants to be right. I'd rather be rich. Morally, no better than anybody else. And the games that are being played aren't helping. Social media is a nightmare at times. I think we all realize that. More from Bill Maher.
After the governor of Virginia, the new governor won, MSNBC headline was, Glenn Youngkin's victory proves white ignorance is a powerful weapon. I don't think that helps. No. I don't think some of this, I'm an old school liberal. I believe in a colorblind society. That's not where woke is. Right. Okay, there's a lot of resegregation go on. There's a lot of, you're either a racist or you don't know you're a racist.
Yeah. Again, because everybody's looking for something. Here's something from MSNBC a little earlier. It shows you that how out of touch things are. Right? I want you to listen to this Stephanie Rule on MSNBC as Bannon turns himself in.
And we've got some breaking news getting all of our attention just seconds ago. Steve.
Now, is that really getting everybody's attention? 350,000, 400,000 people watching MSNBC at this hour, maybe. But is that really what is getting everybody's attention?
Seconds ago, Steve Bannon arrived at the courthouse on his way to surrender to the FBI after being indicted for defying a subpoena from Congress. He is set to appear in a district court later today. You can't see him right here. You can just see that gray hair behind those cameras. Look at him. He's not rushing past them to walk inside. What is he like? This media attention, martyring himself for MAGA, a smile on his face as he's set to surrender.
Then why'd you cover it? Just curious. Because it's about your side. Your side's got another chance to get Trump. It's about your side. Oh, look what he likes with his gray hair, and he loves all this stuff. Sad, but true. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is what we've got now. This is the fight that goes on. But what are real people talking about? Chris Christie, Donna Brazil.
Let me give you a couple examples of what normal people really care about. They go to the gas station, and as much as the Biden administration is against fossil fuels, until further notice, we're going to be using them. And the reason they don't up the strategic reserves is because they don't want to expose themselves on the far left green flank. So they go to the gas station, and the prices are way too high. I will tell you something my wife just told me 3 days ago. She walked in from the supermarket, and she picked up a big pack of toilet paper, and she said to me, "Do you know how much this cost me today? $29.
$29. Yeah. You're hearing it from people. People are frustrated. They're looking around going, what the hell is going on? How is it getting to the point where this thing is so out of control and the prices are going up? People are asking questions like, hey, Biden, what can you do? They're having to pay attention. This is what people care about. Not the tribes, not get it right, not get it wrong. And that's what we should be. How can we be the best us as Americans? Right now, I think it's tough. You know, one of the things I thought Biden would do is he would bore us to death. And in many ways, it's been one debacle after another. And I cannot 100% blame him, as many people are. But at the end of the day, you're the person in the White House. You're the person that says the buck stops with you. You're the person where people look around going, inflation is higher, and you poo-pooed that. You promised no mandates, and there is some. You promised no vaccine mandates, and there is some. You've gone back against your word on several occasions, and you've looked sloppy at doing many of these things. Yes, people are frustrated. But I want him to do well, and so should you. I know there's only so much he can do, but you better start showing up. And you should want him to do well. If the economy's good and you're thriving, but he's not your president because you like Trump? Or would you rather have the economy dies a horrible death and you go out of business? Just so you could say, ha, just like the people on the left talked about the fact that they want a big recession, maybe the only way to get rid of Trump. That's insane. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet, text, love hearing every single one of you. By the way, speaking of issues when it comes to recession, inflation, the holidays, might have some more issues.
Part of the holiday spirit is seeing Santa Claus at corporate parties, charity events, or at malls taking family photos. But due to the pandemic, there's a near 10 to 15% loss in available Santas this year. Susan Mesko, founder of the Professional Santa Claus School in Denver.
The sad part is that COVID and COVID-related deaths have taken a great toll in the Santa industry.
One issue, many older and heavier set men are opting out of the job over concerns about getting the virus, especially in children who aren't yet vaccinated. The ones that are available will be stretched a little thin this year.
About once every 8 minutes, I get somebody that calls that wants a Santa Claus for some event.
I got my suit and I'm ready to roll. Just letting you guys know that. So Santa says, Chad, can you do some stuff? I got it, too. And it's a really nice suit. It's not one of those cheap suits. A nice suit. Very excited. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Maybe I'll take my elf. Doodle the elf. Hey, Rough Greens, give it to my dogs every single day. Love what it's done for my dog. More energy, happier, healthier, no more joint pain. It's got vitamins, minerals, probiotics, omega-3, 6, 9. All this incredible stuff is inside of this incredible supplement called Canine VitaSmart from Rough Greens. My dog Doodle absolutely loves it. So will your dogs. Right now, Rough Greens wants you to try it before you buy it. That's simple. They're going to ship it to you for free. All they ask you to do is cover the cost of shipping. So the bag they're not charging you for. RUFFgreens.com/Chad. Roughgreens.com/Chad. You go there and away it goes. Right to you. Get a little package. Try it. See, as I have seen with my own eyes, what it does for your dogs. You can call them directly to it. My Dog 77. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
Don't let the Washington Beltway strangle you. This is where the exhausted majority comes to refuel, realign, and reevaluate. This is Chad Benson.
So, I like to give you guys some fun. Like to say this was my line, but it's one of the best lines you're ever going to hear. If you guys have not seen the Colin Kaepernick documentary, it's basically everything in his life has been about race. He's been treated poorly all the time based on race. I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but that's everything. I mean, everything from top to bottom. Every single thing. And he equates the NFL to slavery.
Did you see that Netflix special where Colin Kaepernick is comparing the NFL to slavery?
That is the lamest. I did try to watch it.
It
makes me sad.
Comparison. Imagine comparing, you sign up for it. So many people who play football want to be in the NFL. It's a goal. It's a dream. You can make millions of dollars. And imagine comparing that to slavery simply because they measure people's physical performance.
Yeah. But the line that we cut out was this line. When he says this.
Did you see that Netflix special where Colin Kaepernick is comparing the NFL to slavery?
And this is the line of the day. You guys are going to want to keep this. Remember, he's now an icon. Colin Kaepernick. Theo Vaughn.
Bro. Throsa Parks. That's what I call that dude.
Throsa Parks. Throsa Parks. That's a win.
That's what he was doing. He was measuring like wingspans and the combine scores for weightlifting and speed and all that stuff. That's to see how physically adept you are, how good you're going to be at football. So they'll give you tons of money.
Yeah.
The idea that this is comparable to slavery. Whoever wrote that down and then they had that video where they're comparing the NFL owners to the slave masters and they're shaking hands with each other. Like, what the are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. Insane. Insane. Just want to throw that out there. Insane. That was so funny, though. Throsa Parks. Even Michelle Tafoya was on The View a couple weeks ago also talking about this. Saying, he's had every opportunity. He always changed the game. He always thinks he's not going to get a fair shake. And I'm not saying that there wasn't some stuff that was done dirty. Is everything done based solely on race? No. I think that's complete ridiculousness. I think it is. But when you go to these combines, they measure everything, right? How tall are you? How tall are you really? Not how tall are you based in the program. How much do you really weigh? Because you'll get guys to go, well, I'm 6'6", and I weigh 312. Actually, you're 6'4", and you weigh 384. Or I'm 6'6", and I weigh 290. Actually, you're 6'4.5", and you weigh 257. Because that affects your draft stock. How fast are you? Quarterbacks, how big are your hands? Why? Guys are going to be swiping at you. Can you hold the ball? But it gets people talking. It does. And they're arguing. That's what happens more and more. It's ridiculous when it comes to so much of what goes on, because this is exactly the kind of BS where you just sit there and say to yourself, you've made millions being a martyr. You've had opportunities and you didn't want to potentially take some of those opportunities. And again, I'm not saying that there wasn't some stuff that you had every right to question, but when you had the chance, you didn't take it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. I'm excited. If you can get a turkey next week is Thanksgiving. If you can't get a turkey, then it'll be just Thursday with all the fixins. Right? Well, I guess it'd be Friendsgiving. I don't even know if they do that anymore. It's kind of where we're headed. I've been looking. The last 2 places I went, no turkeys. Then the question is, what's your backup? Is it turkey? If you can't find turkey, is always your number one? Is it ham? Is it meatloaf? Is it burgers? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. Your Twitter. Have a great day. We'll do it again tomorrow. Night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.